What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Shred Show Live. You know, every time I do this show, when I bring new guests on, I get excited. I get so pumped up because the knowledge, the expertise, and the wisdom that is shared with all of you, our mortgage community, is just helping you grow and helping you with this year's boom. Yeah, that's right. It's been, we all know, 2023 was a little bit of a struggle, but 2024, it is time for the boom. And are you prepared for it? And if you're not, well, guess what? I have got Chelsea and Nicole from Model Mortgage and wemlo, and they're going to help you prepare for the boom. Be ready so you can take advantage of this incredible opportunity that is right before us. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? It is time to shred. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And again, welcome to the Shred Show. I can't tell you how excited I am to have Chelsea and Nicole here with me today because, as you can see, they're beautiful, they're brilliant, and they're going to be sharing some great things with you today to really help start 2024 in a big way. Because we all know, like I mentioned, 2023, it was good, but we had some struggles. The outlook for 2024 is looking awesome, and now is the time to be prepared, to be ready to go out there and take advantage of this boom, because whether you believe it or not, it's coming. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen, so you better be ready for it. So let's jump into our conversation. I cannot, like I said, I'm so excited to have both these women on with us because they have so many accolades to both of their names, and let's just jump right in. Let's get to know these ladies a little bit better. Chelsea, first and foremost, welcome to the show. Excited to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the industry.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having us. We're super excited to be here. So I have about 10 years of mortgage background. So I started in the industry as a processor on the credit union side and quickly grew up through the ranks there to manage the mortgage department of that particular credit union. I do have a little bit of hospitality in my background, which I think helps me a little bit as well in the mortgage industry. And then came over to wemlo. I am wemlo's first employee, helped build the company and the business, and have stayed on through acquisition. So it has definitely been a fun ride.
That means you've got some talent, especially when it comes to acquisition. Like usually it's like, okay, out with the old, in with the new. So kudos to you. Plus processing. All of us in the industry who have ever been, we have mad respect for our processing teams. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about that later. So stay tuned for that. Nicole, you're an outdoor enthusiast like myself, which I'm all about. I love hearing that. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the industry as well.
Awesome. Good. Yeah. Like Chelsea, I started in 2000. I was a processor for my ex-husband's company, and I was processing, got into the industry. When it got hard, I got out and had kids. And I had a girlfriend call me and say, I have the perfect job for you. It's a business development manager teaching LOs how to build business with realtors. And so I spent quite a few years doing that. And I had a boss that said, Nicole, you're doing all the hard work. You're building the relationships. You're getting the business. Get your license and be an LO. So in 2012, that's exactly what I did. And I've been here ever since. Motto brought me on 3 years ago. And I work with each of my broker owners and loan originators, working with them on business development, recruiting, and just how to be more profitable in our industry. So thank you.
Wow. I'm excited to have both of you ladies here. And just to clarify, you know, Nicole's ex-husband, they didn't split because she was the processor doing all the work. Let's just be honest. That's not what happened. But because we all know our processors, they carry the weight of us mortgage professionals. We are the ones in the starlight, but it's our processing. It's the behind the scenes people that always help us shine as we do, which leads perfectly into kind of where I want to take this conversation, because in this new year, we need to be preparing our teams and our offices. We need to be we were kind of joking about it, but some of us during the end of last year were preparing for this upcoming boom that is upon us. So let's kind of focus on the importance of streamlining, creating efficiencies to handle this anticipated boom. So let's talk about some of the strategies and best practices, if you will, for preparing our teams, the systems we need, the efficiencies. So Nicole, what are some of the things that we should be focused on to really help our teams and our franchise activities and our interactions really improve for 2024?
Sure. I think first and foremost, education. You have to educate yourself on the new products, systems. Get with your AEs, find out what is going on and what they're bringing into the industry. Know your guidelines forwards and backwards. Your processor, speaking of how hard our processors work, your processors will appreciate that. And I think that's the best thing you can do, because at the end of the day, you're going to be educating your clients.
Education, I think, is one of those monumental things. We've all discussed it, but going into a year like this, if you personally, all you listening today, if you haven't educated yourself on what's to come, what environment we are coming out of, what we're going into, I think you're missing out on a big opportunity. And Nicole, to that point, even if you're if you're a guy or gal running your business, if you're running your franchise, if you're running your team, you need to be educated. You need to know what to expect. So ultimately, you can go out and help your team. That's why Motto and wemlo are such great companies to partner with, because ultimately they are helping you. They've got your back as well. But what are some of the other strategies and efficiencies we should be focused on, Nicole? I'm sorry, Chelsea. I said Nicole, but I want Nicole too. I meant to say Chelsea. See, I'm just so excited about all of this. Chelsea, let's go to you, and then Nicole, I'm going to come back to you on this.
Yeah, of course. So from our perspective on the processing side, we've really been putting in the work to understand different lenders that are coming into the landscape that are offering these different products. We're training our team up on those lenders so that when they're getting into those portals, they're not flopping over it saying, okay, where do I go? How do I enter things? We're able to get into the portal, upload the loan, get it into underwriting as quickly as possible. Those have been really key attributes to kind of making our team more successful. And then we're taking a look at our technology too. Do we have the processes in place that can help take things out of the processor's hands that are just mundane tasks that are not special to them? Really giving back that time so they can build relationships with their partners and their clients.
Nicole, do you see training as one of those things that we talk about it a lot in the industry, but is this where we should really be focused on training our teams and helping them thrive in this year?
Oh, absolutely. I will tell you, when I got into the industry, that same boss that said, get your license, you're doing the hard work. He handed me a username and a password and said, good luck, go kill it. And I was like, I don't even know where we take an application. And so this is one of the reasons I personally moved over to Motto Mortgage. Was we have 1,600 of training hours recorded for our teams to look at and say, what do we do better? How can we do it better? How can we make ourselves more efficient and more profitable? And so that is a huge thing in our industry, and it's so underrated.
It is underrated. You're 100% right. I think I'm like you. I remember when I first got started in this industry, 12 plus years ago, the guy who got me, he's like, hey, here's a bunch of leads, go call them and hopefully you'll close a few. And I'm like, all right, I'll figure it out. But that's where we're seeing companies evolve, especially companies like Motto, where it's like, hey, we've got the training. We know how to get you from A to Z. We know how to create you as a top producer. We've got the formula. You just got to plug in. You got to be willing to put in the work, because it's right here in front of you, which literally kind of leads to where I want to go next with this is, we all know 2023, the biggest barrier for home buyers was rate. Like, that was just a big thing. Plus, there was some lack of inventory in the market as well. But now there's some new concerns. There's some new challenges that are in the way of home buyers. So let's kind of discuss a few of those concerns and how we can explore solutions. Let's overcome some of these objections and some of the strategies that we can to navigate through some of these barriers or challenges. So Chelsea, what are some of these challenges that homeowners or home buyers are facing this year?
Yeah, I would say down payment is going to be a huge one for home buyers this year. As we start to see that rates let up, I'm sure those home prices are going to increase, which means that their down payments are going to have to increase as well for those home purchases. So down payment is going to be a huge hurdle to overcome. With the rates coming down, I don't think we're going to see as many seller concessions as we did before. So people are going to have to get creative. Are there DPA or down payment assistance that's out there for you to utilize to be able to help that borrower get some more down payment cash that they can use for these houses?
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. I think that's going to be one of them in particular. Nicole, what are your thoughts on some of the challenges that we're going to see and maybe some of the solutions that we can provide for our home buyers and possibly our clients?
Sure. And I absolutely agree with Chelsea. I think down payment is the biggest hurdle, especially for our millennials. They are our largest demographic of buyers, them and females. And so we really need to focus on that education. So we've got different things to help our buyers, such as, discussing gift funds, co-signers. We have a couple wholesale partners right now that are doing a 1% down loan where you put 1% down, they put 2% or up to $4,000 down on the buyer's behalf. And so for me, again, it's educating your consumers on what is out there and how we can help them afford to get into their first home.
And that's just it. It's helping them understand what's out there. And I want to stay on this for a second, Nicole, because there are some innovative loan products and opportunities out there. And most of us never like talking products. And we're always like, oh, well, that's what is really what differentiates us. But it's true, especially the broker community and Modern Mortgage. You have to be looking at those things, the loan products, some of the latest Fannie Mae guidelines that have been updated and changed. As we see a market shift, as we see an update, we as brokers, as a mortgage professional, we have to be aware of those. We have to know what is going to help us, what is going to allow us to help ultimately the home buyer with some of these programs. So how important do you think it is to be with a company or to have innovative loan products and really to be able to differentiate yourself in a year like 2024?
Chelsea or me?
Either one. You're both amazingly talented on this one. So Nicole, let's stay with you on this one.
Sure, absolutely. I think that the company you work with is everything. It truly is. It makes or breaks your transactions. I doubled my business by moving to the broker world, just because you have the availability of products that you're not going to have at a retail bank. I was referring about 25% of my business out to my competitors every month because we just didn't have that product outlet. And so that's probably the biggest thing I'm seeing during my recruiting these days is that when I meet with LOs, the first thing I ask is, why are we meeting today? Because they're usually reaching out to me to meet. And they usually say, I can't do loans. I can't be competitive. My rates aren't competitive and neither are my products. And so that's going to make or break your book of business for sure.
It really is going to make or break your business, especially in this year. And you allude to something that I think is really important. And Chelsea, I wanted to come to you on this, is making sure you educate yourself on who your target buyer is. We all talk about niches in this industry and riches are in the niches, but I think more than ever, as we go into this year, understanding your buyer, understanding your demographic, who ultimately are you serving? What products do you have for them, whether it's first-time home buyers, whether it's the millennials, whether it's single women coming to, which they have had a huge rise. We've seen the numbers, we've seen the analytics and the data behind that, is really hone in on that group of people, on that niche, if you will, so you know what's available to them. How important do you think that is going to be in this next year?
Oh, I think it's going to be monumental. And I think for the people who are prepping in these last couple of months, if you've been going to industry events, if you've been out in your community, if you've been talking to people that live around you, that are going to be buying around you, you understand what your target market looks like. And that just helps you. It just positions yourself better for this next year. But I also think, kind of to touch on what Nicole was talking about with Mono Mortgage, is you can be a broker out there in the wholesale space and have access to all of these different lenders, all of these different products. But if you don't have someone like Mono Mortgage that is telling you, hey, this is the product and this is how you use it, you're not going to be successful. So you really need that liaison to say, like, I know you're out there, you're all by yourself as a broker, but here's the plethora of products that you can use, and here's the situations in which you would use them, just to kind of help link those keys together for brokers out there to make sure that they're utilizing everything they have at their hands.
Ooh, this is crucial. And Nicole, I kind of want your thoughts on this as well. You mentioned something. Chelsea mentioned something that I think is monumental in the broker community. Coming from a broker myself, being in that side of the industry, I've been on both sides. I've experienced both. But when you're a broker, sometimes you feel like you're by yourself. You're kind of like, especially if you're a one-man band or maybe you got a small team, being aligned with the right company like a Modern Mortgage who can guide you, who can direct you. They have a support. They have a team behind you. You're not all by yourself. You're not secluded on an island, as sometimes brokers may feel. And if you feel that way, maybe it's time to reach out, to ask some questions, to be looking at a company like Model, like, hey, am I missing the support? As we mentioned, we want to be efficient. We want to have the processes in place. And if that's something you're missing, Nicole, maybe it's time for a change.
Oh, absolutely. The hardest part of being a broker is managing that compliance, doing your marketing and your social media. All of those things are value adds that Motto handles for you. We're going to take all of those hard things, that broker in a box, and we know what the needs are. You're also going to get that tier 1 pricing service and turn times when working with a company like Motto Mortgage. You're automatically grandfathered in with a lot of wholesale partners that wouldn't work with a mom and pop broker. We have access to wemlo and, our preferred partnership with wemlo. Our processors make or break a transaction. And when you have a partnership with a company like wemlo, Chelsea and her team, hands down, make every deal so much smoother for our loan originators.
You're 100% correct, and I'm excited. We're going to come over to wemlo in a second because I want to dive into that a bit more. But there's a reason franchise models you look at McDonald's, you look at Chick-fil-A, you look at these models that are they've proven themselves time and time again. If you want to go buy a McDonald's, you upfront the money, and you know you're going to get your return in X amount of time. That's because they've proven the model, they've proven the system, and that's exactly what Model has done. They've got the brokerage in a box, they've got support, they've got tools, they've got marketing, they've got the things that you need. You don't have to go figure it out by yourself. You don't have to just go, well, I hope this works, especially in a year where the boom is coming. You have to be prepared. You have to know that, I've got the team, I've got the support. Now it's game on, which kind of leads me to where I want to really end with this conversation is, Nicole, you mentioned wemlo. And of course, Chelsea being the first employee of wemlo and still there, I want to highlight this. Real quick, for those who don't know what even wemlo is, can you tell us what is wemlo? What do you do? How do you support us as brokers?
Yeah, of course. So we're a contract processing company. We work hand in hand with you and your client to get them from application all the way through closing. With our system, we are able to actually stack compliance docs in there as well. So once the loan is finished, you still have that compliance package all stacked and ready for you. But you do have the support of a processor who is taking it all the way from an application into the lender portal, submitting the loan for you, getting it into underwriting, doing all the order outs. All of that support is there for you.
And that's just it. This is scalable processing. This is a huge benefit to anybody who's owned a mortgage company or their own brokerage, knows that truly, and I mean this, and both of you ladies have been on the processing side, a good processing team can make or break your flow of the mortgage process. Again, been there, done that. I've worked with some of the absolute best processors in the country. And if you really don't have that support and that role or that process dialed in, this can slow you down. And especially as we're coming into a year with rates coming down, with the boom looming right now, you got to get dialed in. So now's the time to take advantage of that. Talk about some of the benefits of scalable processing and the solutions and the expedited options that are available through wemlo.
Yeah, of course. So when we're talking about the boom that's coming, we don't want you rushing in here when you've got 10 deals on the table going, please take my files. Let's onboard now. Let's get it done. Because we've seen it time and time again where we rush through that process of setting expectations and there's not a true understanding of what we handle. So I'd say get set up early. We have a team of 30 processors. So when times are really busy for you, we can scale up. We'll add people onto your team. We'll make sure that you're supported with a loan processing manager who actually will manage the relationship between you and the processor. So you're not feeling like you have to manage them and kind of micromanage their tasks or what they're doing. We have somebody and a layer of support for you on that. But then during times when it is slower, you don't have to worry about firing staff or laying anybody off or having those tough conversations because we'll just scale back your team when you need it. So we're adjusting as you need us to.
Which, again, that takes so much of the guesswork out of it. You don't have to be the one making those calls. You have a team behind you saying, hey, you're crushing it right now. We're going to add to your team. We're going to, strengthen you. We're going to give you all the support that you need. Hey, things have slowed down a little bit. Don't worry about this. We got you. We got you covered. Which, honestly, Nicole, in my eyes, you just make us as mortgage professionals look good to our clients. That's what it's all about. We all want to look good. We all want to step up. We all want to help everybody achieve that dream of homeownership. And ultimately, Nicole, that's what Motto and wemlo have partnered up and do for us as the mortgage community.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you. Your processor is going to make or break your deal. And as Chelsea said, now is not the time to kick your feet up and relax because we're slow. This is the time that you learn your processes, your procedures, you get yourself streamlined and in line with your business partners so that when the boom does hit, we're not scrambling because it makes you look unprofessional. And it usually, stuff hits the fan, and that's never a fun thing to do with a client. It's the most stressful thing that most people will ever do in their lives is purchase a home. And you want that to be an easy transition, a good experience for the buyer, because that's where that referral and return business comes from.
It is never fun when stuff hits the fan. So you need to, now's not the time to kick back. Like you said, kick your feet up and relax. You've had time to do that during your preparing over the last few months. So now it's time to hustle. It's time to get in there, have the processes in place, have the team supporting you behind you. And again, that's why Motto and the wemlo team It's such a great combination of everything you need to go out there and be successful in this upcoming year. What a way to kind of start wrapping this up. Ladies, I want your final thoughts and what you're looking forward to. Again, there was a lot of doom and gloom, a lot of ideas of 2023, it's difficult, but we're positive. We're looking forward to this new year. So what's something you're both looking forward to in this upcoming year? Nicole, what are you looking for this new year?
Oh my gosh, I'm looking forward. Obviously, of course, rates are going to go down a little bit. That's exciting for everybody. But I think the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is to remember that if somebody is applying for a loan, they're comfortable with the rate. You just have to sell the value of what your service is and what you do. And so I'm really excited to see what our team at Motto and wemlo is going to do this year with those value adds.
Oh, I love it. All right, Chelsea, that's a hard note to kind of end on. So I'm excited to see what you're looking forward to this year.
Yeah, of course. I think that we all know that 2023 was a little bit of a tough year, but we all kind of dug in. We did what we could and we had control over, but I'm really looking for the broker market to flourish in this next year. I think that with rates coming down, there is a huge opportunity for the broker market to really just take this by storm. We're in the communities. We've been there. We've been having the conversations. I just can't wait for them to totally kill it. And then I'm excited to see my team kill it too. I mean, we've been putting in so much preparation behind the scenes to get ready for the refi boom. I cannot wait to see what wemlo Ops does because it's going to be amazing.
Oh, it is going to be amazing. What a way to perfectly end this. And you even mentioned this too, Chelsea. We've been in with the communities. We've been out there. We've been putting in the time. Hopefully you have. Hopefully you haven't kicked back your feet. And if you have, now's the time to double down. Now's the time to start partnering with great companies like Motto and wemlo so you can have the processes in place. You can have all the tools that you need so you can go out and you can ultimately have those conversations, building those relationships that we all know help us achieve our ultimate goals, which is helping the American achieve the dream of homeownership. So ladies, I cannot thank you enough. This has been an absolutely brilliant conversation. We've had a lot of people tune in and be watching this, and I know they have got some amazing value and some strategies and things that they need to go execute on for this year of 2024. And ladies and gentlemen, like we mentioned, if you need help, maybe it's time to reach out to Motto, get a little bit better understanding of how they can help you in this year 2024. Chelsea, Nicole, thank you so very much, ladies. Huge shout out to Motto Mortgage and wemlo as well for joining us on this show. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. Now it's time for all of you to go shred, go show up, hustle, repeat every day. See ya.